Hey, how's it going, everyone? Jack here, back with another weekly vault opening and kind of channel and character updates here. So let's start off with the warrior, biggest one that we have here. Just going to talk about Mythic Plus for a little bit here, how last week went, how this week is looking. So for last week, I think we gained around 66 IO, 66 Mythic Plus rating, which is pretty good. We got our first 21s done. We got 4 of them completed, I believe, so pretty good. And we got almost everything else at a 20. We didn't do 20 Halls of Valor last week. I really wanted to get that done, so we have everything at a 20. But we didn't, I don't think we did any Halls keys last week. We just didn't get any from the people we play with. Wasn't able to really find many in queue. So unfortunately, no Halls, but everything is at least a 20. Half of it's now a 21, which is really nice. Hopefully I can push above 2,800 for this week. That'd be really nice to have there. Last week was definitely an annoying week with Tyrannical. Tyrannical is always very annoying, but also Sanguine and Explosive too, especially for tanks. Very annoying to deal with Sanguine. If you do it well, you can definitely have some good times in the key and in terms of timing it well. But if a mob gets caught in Sanguine, especially if it's a caster, that can be a bad time there and really extend the length of the key. So very annoying to deal with. And then explosives, most of the time your healer is handling the explosives, but that's still a lot of globals for them to have to use on the explosives. So still unfortunate, I think, overall affixes, but got some good upgrades, which I'm really happy with here. For this week, as we see, we have a fortified week with a bolster and storming. Now, storming, yeah, that'll be annoying for melee to deal with, but it shouldn't be too bad. Bolstering can get pretty hairy there, especially if you have a lieutenant mob that bolsters. Maybe you did a big pull and then one lieutenant mob bolsters up, gains a lot of health and damage. That can lead to some wipes there, so you gotta make sure you focusing on the lieutenants and killing everything pretty evenly there. So we'll see how this week goes. I think bolstering, if your DPS isn't able to kill things evenly, it can be a difficult one. I can see in pugs as well how that might not go often, not go so well in some keys there. But we'll see how the week goes. I think it's the first bolstering week that we've had in Dragonflight, so it should be interesting here. That's kind of the Mythic Plus updates for last week. This week, feeling pretty good about my current rating. Happy with that currently. And yeah, hoping to push above 2,800 on the Warrior for this week. So let's go on to the Vault here. And as you can see, my UI is kind of messed up. I updated my LVUI to the latest version, but my stuff still isn't appearing. I'll fix that later. We shouldn't need it for the Vault, though. It should be fine. So let's see what we need. So we do have patch 10.0.5 that came out today with quite a few changes, including class tuning, changes to Mythic Plus that they just announced for, I think, untimed keys over a 20 all count to as a 20 key instead. So that's kind of tuning for IO, some rating. So, I feel like there's going to be a lot of disbands if you're not going to time keys above a 20 there. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out there, especially in pugs. I feel like that'll lead to a lot of disbands there as people are really just going for IO at that point there. But a lot of other changes as well for 10.0.5. Again, lots of tuning that did happen here. A little bit to the Prot Warrior, but pretty minor overall. Moving on to the vaults here, we do want to get, what do we want? So we do have the Creation Catalyst as well, which is something that came in 10.05. I haven't really checked that out yet, but we can turn the pieces into tier. So I'd be able to turn this 421 into tier, which will be very nice for me for sure. That'll actually give me my 4 set, as I haven't had my 4 set yet here. So I think for the vault, we're looking for, I do want to craft a ring this week, so that'll be 418. We're looking for some big legs, maybe some 421 legs, either tier or something to turn into tier. A helmet would be big as well. That's, yeah, the legs or helmet 421 or just outright tier would be, I think, the best options here. So let's get into it. I think I'm going to go into tank spec. There's nothing I really want from DPS spec. Maybe like the Windscar Whetstone trinket, but I feel like that's pretty far fetched to go for one trinket for queuing for DPS. We can use single hand weapons as well as shields. I mean, it would be a minor upgrade, but still an upgrade if we got them. So here we go. Let's open our vault, see what we have, and we'll go from there. Hopefully we get something good. We got should have 3 max level vaults Mythic Plus and some heroic vaults too. What do we have here? Let's start with the heroic stuff here. So we have, okay, 402 sword, don't need that. 411 waist, we do with a socket, which, I mean, sounds nice, but we do have the Frostfire belt there. And then we have Eye of Vengeful Hurricane. We have the Torque for the neck, so we don't actually need that. That's a lot of haste though, but yeah, we don't need that. On to the nice 421 pieces. We have back at 421 Crit Mastery. Oof, those are the worst pieces there. I know with the Creation Catalyst, we can turn it into something else that gives different stats. I'll have to look the stats up because I don't know that off the top of my head. We have we have the 421 shoulders. Okay, so yeah, I mean we can just Creation Catalyst this though. I don't know if I want to waste a Volt on this just because I can just Creation Catalyst that. So probably wouldn't get that. Even, I could Creation Catalyst, I guess. Potentially something else that I have, but I think that would just be at 415. So I don't think that's worth wasting that on the shoulders there as, playing for a bit more of a long game for the whole season as opposed to immediate upgrades, especially since we're not raiding or mythic raiding really. We're just pugging raids. The last option we have here, what is this? It is a sword. Oh yeah. So of course it is a sword there. Crit mastery. Yeah. I mean, hindsight probably should have just did DPS. I mean, I might have got a two-hander if that was the case, but there it is. Not really amazing options, I don't think, in the vault for this week. We don't want any of the heroic stuff. Don't really want the shoulders, so it comes between weapon, which is a 3 item level upgrade, but worse stats. Like two stats that I do not want. And then we have the drape, which is the 2 stats I don't want as well. Both crit mastery. Um, so yeah, I think I'm just gonna sim it. It's probably between either the sword, the cape, or honestly, just getting a couple sockets here. I might sim the sword as well as the cape, even just to see. I'll probably see what the cape actually turns into in the creation catalyst, because that could be an option as well if it turns into better stats here. So one sec, I'm just gonna check that up, sim it, and see where we're at. All right, so after looking into it, the cloak does turn into high crit, low verse. I don't really want low verse. I like verse and haste would be our best stats, and low verse isn't something we'd really like. So I don't think I'll be taking the cloak there. The weapon is a very slight DPS upgrade, although raid bots, the sims aren't really working. I don't think they have the new talents in yet for the patch. Very slight DPS upgrade, but I don't think I'd get that as I do want to stick with haste and versatility. So honestly, on the warrior, we're just going to go. I think we're going to go with the socket here. Kind of feels bad to take a socket, but this is kind of the only way we're going to get sockets anyway. We need them for my belts and bracers at least. So going to go with the socket, and we'll see what key we get as well. So not a very exciting vault on the warrior, unfortunately. Going with the socket, and we get a 21 no cood offensive. Okay, that's a nice key. I think that's definitely doable for this week here. So now let us move on to probably go to the druid next. All right, on to the druid's vault now. I think we just have one piece. I believe we did a 16. I think it was a 16. We'll have to see. Yeah, we definitely did a 16. I don't think we did anything else. I think maybe 3 keys, but not enough to get multiple items from the vault here. Now, Guardian Druid did get this rework for 10.05. I haven't really looked at this too much. I think some of the talents were switched around here. We'll have to look into that more before I play it for sure, but let's just see what we got in the vault here. What are we hoping to get? Yeah, it's Feral Spec. I think we can use a lot of upgrades, honestly, too. With Thunderous Downburst Ring. Okay, very nice. Damn. Yeah, 414, 745. Very nice. Haste, verse. I'll definitely take that. I have a 372 version right now, so I will take that 415. I'm pretty happy with that, honestly. If I got, kind of wish I got a 421 on that on my warrior, but that's how it goes sometimes. And what key did we get here? We got Algathar Academy, 16. Okay, not too bad here. So that's going to be a pretty big item level, I think. So 387. Flip that to 390. So 3 item level increase. Very nice to get that on the druid. Yeah, wish I got that on the warrior, but that's how it is. It's all good. All right, last but not least here on the Death Knight, I believe we do have one vault on him as well. I think the highest we did for the week is a 17. Yeah, I think that's 17 Temple of the Jade Serpent, I believe was last week. We still haven't done a couple dungeons on them again. We've just been doing like maybe one dungeon a week, one or two of them. So not really pushing rating on the DK, just trying to get like a 16, 17 done per week here. But let's see what we can get in terms of a vault here. Again, not very high item level. We can use a lot of things here. Hopefully, what? It's the same ring as we got on the druid. What? I mean, that's that's kind of nice. I mean, haste verse. Yeah, I mean that's definitely a big upgrade from a 346 eye level. So I mean, we'll take that for sure. But that is, what are the chances that we get the exact same ring that we got on the druid? This rigged? That's really strange. But here we go. Not bad about that. We got a 17 Temple of the Jade Serpent, the one that we did last week. That's yeah, interesting RNG here, but let's see. We will equip this. That'll be big item level upgrade, more so than the Druid even. Again, 4 item levels from that to 392. Yeah, my mog is kind of off here, but that's all right. 392 eye level. That's now we are full purples. We got rid of our last blue on the DK, which is kind of nice there. So not too bad. All right, so that's the vaults for the week. Just gonna go over just kind of the weekly channel update and what's to come here. So you saw we did release our first episode of Surviving Pugs. I'll probably change the series up here and there, kind of tailor it how I think would be best viewed here. I initially wanted to show like every key there. I think that might be a little bit too much. I feel like I might show like the key upgrades in there instead of every single key. But yeah, I definitely want to do more of that. Hopefully, get some consistent content released on that series there for the Surviving Pugs series that I'm doing on the Brewmaster Monk. So if you haven't seen that, definitely check that out. I didn't do any key commentaries for last week's keys. I kept forgetting to record the runs, to be honest. So I'll try to make sure I record the runs for this week and get at least one video out for some gameplay and commentary on the keys that I do here. Um, Apart from that, I do want to start doing maybe some warrior guides. Thinking about doing like a talent guide, kind of just going over all of the talent points and my thoughts on them when you're able to use each talent point. So that might be coming up sometime in the near future. It does require a bit more editing and a bit more video time to make those kind of videos. So I'm not sure when that would be out yet, but that's kind of been on my mind, just that. And then maybe some other warrior specific content to do with Mythic Plus mainly. So maybe tips on how you can do some bosses or pulls within Mythic Plus there. Also might do some route guides, so maybe some Mythic Dungeon tools. Going over my routes for Mythic Plus here, I feel like that's having a good route that you really like definitely helps a ton. Can really increase your confidence in the dungeon, so that's can be really important there. So I do want to go over that sometime as well. That's kind of the content that I'm putting out and what's to come in the near future here. Hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah, vaults have been interesting. Just the socket on the warrior for today, and then same rings on the druid and death knight. But yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.